Welcome back to the Coyote Country Homestead. Got a little project today. I feel like those are words that are going to be etched in my tombstone because I keep thinking these are going to be small projects and they turn out to be something else. But I really do think this one is a relatively small project. I've got this area back here, I'm going to go this way, that is right behind the shipping container. And let me flip you around. Similar to what I had on the other side of my shop, at one time the ground up between the shipping container and the building was raised and it wasn't allowing water to flow properly. So sometime in the last 2 years, I came through by hand and I dug that out enough so that it had a fall and water could drain from the front of the shop to the back. The problem is when it gets into this area right here, well, it's difficult to see from this angle, but I come down here. So this area here is actually raised. And I did manage to get enough of a channel dug by hand that water has a way to get out, but it's not the way I really want it. And you can see this concrete that is right here. As I was digging trying to dig the path for the water to come out, I ran across this. I'm like, what is this concrete under the ground? And at the time, I didn't have any equipment, and that was it. I was like, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm tired, and I just stopped. But it's not really the way I want it. I want this area here lowered, and I want there to be a nice, wide swale that the water from between the building and the shipping container can go here. And then once it gets past this point, well, I've got a nice downhill slope from here that all of the water can drain. So that's the project today. I want to get this high spot. And actually, if I come over this way, I think you can see, I mean, there's just a mound of soil. It's low on this end, it's low on this end, and I want to drag that down. I do want to slope away from the concrete where the shipping container is. I don't want that to just, I don't want to expose the whole slab there, but I can do that in a way that certainly gets a lot more of this dirt down. And then I'm going to have to get this concrete out. I don't have to. I don't like leaving slabs of concrete under the ground like this because it seems like there's always going to be a project that comes along that I want to do something and then I go digging and I hit it. So I'm probably going to get that up as well. That is the project for today. We'll probably just take this soil and I've got some areas over here, some low spots, and it's all much lower there. It'd be no big deal to take that amount of dirt and spread that over there. If I don't like how that's going, I have my more dirt than gravel pile that I could put the dirt right there. That's the project for today. The tractor's warming up. I'm going to go get the camera, or I'm sorry, put the camera on the tripod, go get the tractor, and we'll get started. Pretty much got the grade where I want it. I think I'm finding, why am I surprised, that there are a few more concrete slabs in here than I expected. I'll probably get the forks hooked on, and I want to get those out, and I can use this extra dirt that I've got to backfill that. Set those off to the side, the concrete slabs. We'll worry about breaking those up later. And then I'd like to smooth out the rest of this. I know it's off camera where the rest of that dirt got moved. I might take the slope down just a little bit more too, where make that a little bit more smooth. But first, I'm probably going to get a shovel. I just want to clear these areas and find out where the pads are, the concrete pads that need to come out are, and then we'll get the forks and see if we can get those out. More of this than I thought. Maybe I'll just get the bucket in here, scrape that off. I don't know how far this pad goes over. Feels like they're right there. So if there's just this one, I'm concerned. I don't want to keep digging and then find out it goes all the way back to this other pad. It may, I don't know. Let's see what we can discover with the front end loader. Trying to find the edges here. And find out, is this all one pad? There's definitely more there. It's just really uneven. It slopes away, it falls away, it's cracked. I'm just trying to get a vision for what the purpose for it even was. This feels like a slab. That one does. Feel like there's an edge here. This one feels like a slab. Okay, we're gonna grab the forks and we're gonna start trying to pop these out. bunch of these loose concrete broken chunks here, and then like this one here is a fairly good sized slab. Slab is the wrong word, chunk. Get underneath that, get that lifted up, and then we'll see what we're dealing with on these. I need a grapple or an excavator with a thumb or something. This is it's being difficult to get a hold of this. See if maybe if I get it just out like that, if I can get underneath it that way. It's difficult when you can't see the front end of the forks. That's where I want it, but I want to make sure it doesn't fall off the forks. This goes over here farther than I thought too. I can see I've got this slab, this chunk here. And there's something here. Big enough. I'm gonna need some help with that. Set that stuff over there. I may come back and get that with the bucket later. Oh, put these with the other bucket pieces. I'm gonna reposition that a little bit. I don't know that he's gonna make the ride otherwise. Without it falling on me, please. This is the weirdest collection of broken paver stones and bricks and slabs of concrete. Weird. I really don't know what this was, like a patio at one time. Super strange. I think that's all the concrete from over here. Like I said, I've got this at least one other slab right here. Maybe I could do something similar and find his edges by prying on them with a shovel. I'll probably move him with the bucket and these other ones. So that's dirt. All right, cross your fingers that for my purposes, that's all there is. And I'll be able to fill this in and continue with getting this down to the grade I want. This is why I stopped digging by hand. I knew as I ran into one or two of these that the odds were good I'd just keep hitting it. And at the time I didn't have any way to move it or anything to do with it. So, all right, let's get this over with the other slabs of concrete. See if I can position this. I'm gonna go get the bucket back on. All right, I'm gonna go dump the last of this all broken up concrete, riprap, whatever it is, into the pile. Then I'm gonna get a load out of my more dirt than gravel pile and put that in here and start smoothing this out. Keep finding little pieces of glass. I like to grab those and throw them away before they pop one of my tractor tires. pretty good. I think I'm going to adjust it a little bit with the shovel and rake real quick, and then use the box blade to factor that a little bit. This may settle a little low, and that's actually what I want. Because if you remember, this is the water pathway right here for drainage. So I really want this path here to be the lowest. Yeah, I like that. Let's back drag that out. Use the hydraulic coupling to go back with that. There you go. So let's try that. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Need a rain to get everything to kind of settle in, and I'll need to get some grass seed down. Finish smoothing out some of these spots where the back blade kind of left a little bit of a ridge. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. This is what I wanted, a more gradual slope off of here. I got that broken concrete out. So I still have some dirt over here. Let's show you what we've got. It's hard to tell because of the shadows. But I dragged everything down the hill and into this bottom area here. Now I just need to make a few passes to smooth all of this out. So let me do that real quick. That's the finished product. That turned out exactly like I wanted it to. I think it looks great. I did smooth this out as much as I could right now, but at the same time, I've got another project over by that black building up there that's going to be dragging a little bit more dirt from up there down to here. And so I'm not going to get overly carried away with this right now, but if you look up here, this really looks exactly like I want it to. We got a nice even grade. Everything is below where the water comes out over here. This looks great. I think this is going to work really well, and I'm really happy. It took a little bit longer than I thought. Let me show you what the concrete looks like. This is that pile of concrete. So I guess I'm going to be back to the sledgehammer here. There's a little more there than I thought. I was really surprised how much was underneath there. But with the tractor, we got it all out and got everything smoothed out. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, click like, click subscribe. Subscribe won't cost you anything and we won't send you anything, but it helps me grow the channel and it lets you know when I've made future videos. And that's it for today. So thank you very much for joining us out here at the Coyote Country Homestead. My name is Chris and we'll talk to you later.